tell me a little bit about the inspiration behind you guys' podcast, because there's not really, you would think there'd be a lot of dog podcasts out there in the world, but there really isn't.
Right. And
yeah, there's not too many at all.
Tyler's boyfriend found out, because we have it's kind of a working dog podcast,
Mm-hmm.
and there are no other podcasts about working dogs. And so we are the only dog podcast about working dogs.
So you found a little niche
We did.
Is the community awesome? Because I know when you're like, pick a specific topic for a podcast, sometimes the communities are pretty awesome, and sometimes the community can be a little rough.
Right.
I feel like for the most part, yeah. But I mean, there's always the people that are like,
I know more than you.
Yeah.
You're doing this wrong. I'm right.
The hierarchy.
Shut up. Yeah.
So we always are like, we're not professionals.
Yeah. If you listen to any of our number of podcast episodes, every episode we say we are not professionals.
Yep.
This is just our personal experience of owning this breed of dog.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So what is the breed? And what is you guys, I know that you have the same exact dog, or the same exact breed of dog, obviously.
Right. Yeah.
And how did that come about?
Okay. Do you want me to
Yeah, you can go first.
say my story? So my husband always wanted, it's his bucket list to train a German Shepherd from puppy all the way to, later on. And so we were doing some research, and we found this Belgian Malinois breed that's smaller, a little bit more wiry, a little bit more energetic. And my husband just was like, I want to try that out. Because they're basically, my sweatshirt says Belgian Malinois. Basically looks like a baby German Shepherd on crack.
That's in the dictionary, so if you go look up the definition. Just kidding.
But yeah, that's basically what it was. So we got one, and it's awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah. We love him, but it's hard work.
Oh, I bet. Especially if they're more energetic than a German Shepherd, because German Shepherds are pretty ready to have fun.
Yeah.
I feel like German Shepherds are like the goofy cousin of the Belgian Malinois.
Yeah.
Belgian Malinois are like, let's do this, let's party, let's go.
Yeah.
And then the German Shepherd's like, what's up? Let's do this. We're here.
So then how did you guys find out that you both had the same dog?
I am an internet stalker, basically.
Okay.
So our dogs are related. So my boyfriend, we added our breeder on Facebook, and we were going through the pictures to try and find baby pictures of our dogs. And then we found a very familiar picture of someone that we followed on Instagram. So I was putting two and two together, and I was like, wait a minute, I think that's Toby. And so I went to Instagram, confirmed that picture was on Toby's account, and then I messaged her.
Oh, wow.
And I confirmed it. I was like, yes.
Yeah, and now she's stuck with me.
Yeah. We became best friends. And
So did you guys know each other before that?
no.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That is so awesome.
And so just kind of, my dog is Toby.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
And I have Athena and Aries.
Yeah. So it goes Athena, Toby, and then Aries.
Yeah.
Age-wise?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Different litters.
Oh, different litters?
Aries does not look like Athena or Toby.
No.
But
Athena and Toby are the same dog, basically.
basically.
Yeah. And they're in love. Even though they're related.
Oh, boy.
Nothing like that, but they just
Yeah.
like Toby we put Toby in a kennel at their house because he was being annoying, annoying. And Athena would go up to the kennel and be like, hey, how are you? Just
what are you doing
lick
in
him
there?
through the kennel. And, she felt so bad.
Oh.
Yeah. They're cute
Yeah.
together.
So then just through talking about the dogs and being like, oh, yeah, it just kind of naturally turned into being friends and then wanting to talk about it since you talk about the dogs all the time.
All the time. All the time, yeah.
yeah.
I feel like every conversation we had, it was dog related, and then we're like...
And then we got drunk on my birthday.
That's true. She stole a pumpkin for me.
I did steal a pumpkin for her.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Well, it was my 21st birthday, and I was gone, and we went to this bar, and my birthday's in November, so there was this bunch of fall decorations, and there were these teeny little pumpkins that were just really cute, and Caitlin was like, wow, I really want that pumpkin. Yeah, like we were.
I was wasted. Sorry, Mom.
And so her husband was like, no, like, you don't need a pumpkin. And I overheard, and I was like, I'll be right back then. And so I grabbed the pumpkin, put it under my shirt, and I was like, we need to go. And so we, like, Grinch tiptoed, like, out of the bar.
One just down the street at another bar, like, a fight must have broke out with, like, a weapon or something, because there were, like, 8 cop cars, and we're like, they're on us!
Yeah, we were like, they know about the pumpkin!
And that sealed the friendship.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
And I just remember there's someone, like, waiting across the street with us, and he looked at me, he's like, wait a minute, that's not your pumpkin. And I just straight up was like, shh, and ran. It was amazing.
I mean, we're talking like tiny
pumpkin, yeah.
Yeah, like tiny.
Maybe like that big.
And then pumpkin is safe for dogs, so then I gave it to Toby, and he started eating it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So naturally.
So having like a really energetic dog, you know, you talk to people who get into like hardcore like dog training and different things like that. Does it turn more into a lifestyle, or is it still just kind of like, yeah?
Yes. I feel like that's something that people don't like consider when they get a Belgian Malinois. It's like they're not just a dog, you know, like they literally are Velcro dogs. Like we're never alone anymore, and it's literally like a full-time job. That's like how Katlyn puts it.
Yeah, my husband is in the Air Force Reserve, so he only works 1 week in a month. I work Monday through Friday. So whenever he's not home, I'm home, and it's kind of like vice versa.
Right.
And that's, like, his job is training this dog.
How is it going?
Great.
Yeah?
Good. He's a really good boy.
That's awesome.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
There's still things that, like, I feel like all Malinois, there's always something that they're so stubborn with that it's like, boy. But, yeah. But he's, other than that. Like, if you get a bond with them and they get your trust and, like, you get their trust, there's no separating you, kind of like what Tyler said, and they will do anything for you.
Really?
That's why they're really good protection dogs, because I know with Toby, if someone tried to harm me,
It would be
game over for that person, because he would die for me. And that's why these dogs make great, like, canines and protection dogs, is for that reason.
And once they're locked on something, you can't break that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure that's amazing to have too, just as like a part of your life,
right?
Because I mean, I'm sure every pet owner can agree that like when you really start to train your pet or get to know your pet, like it really does become a part of you. It's not just like a dog or a cat or a parrot.
It's your
or whatever.
family.
Yeah, it's your family, and you know, when it gets to that level where you know that dog would probably die for you, I think it's even more of a sentimental thing than just a pet.
Right.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's Toby. It's an individual.
Right.
Exactly.
Which is cool because I think that, I don't know, as like 2020 progresses, stuff like that I think is more important than ever, just because of how crazy the world is.
To stick with your family and friends, and you know, reach out.
Plus, have something to work on that's constructive.
Right.
Like even during like the COVID and all that, like having something that you can personally fall back on to start training this dog, like teaching, different things, which is awesome.
Yeah, my work hours got cut in half, so it's kind of like, okay, now is the time where I'm going to put that bonding motion forward, because my husband did most of the training, so it's like, Toby would listen to me, but sometimes it would take him a little bit more to listen to me, and so now I've been kind of sticking it to him, and I've definitely seen a difference. Like, he used to just go up to my husband and be like, let's cuddle, but now he's more like, hey, there's this other person, like, I'm starting to like a little bit more. So,
Is the dynamic of having two dogs different from the dynamic of having one? Or is it...
Yeah, I would say yeah. Just because, like, you have to deal with, like, double the energy. And so it was, like, easy when it was just Athena to, like, take her out to the field and wear her out, and then it was good. But now it's like we have to wear Athena out and Aries out. But Aries doesn't. He has the most stamina I've ever seen, ever. Like, the only dog, and it was kind of crazy, the only dog I've ever seen able to wear Aries out was an 11-year-old German Shorthair.
Really?
This dog ran Aries into the ground. It was crazy. But other than that, we can play for like an hour and a half, and Aries will come inside, grab his jolly ball, and it's like, what are you doing sitting? Like, we haven't played all day.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you mean?
Yeah, there's definitely an internet joke of, like, when you see a Belgian Malinois sleeping, it's like their 10-minute nap before, like, let's go conquer the world.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Does that energy go off on you guys too? Like being around, like...
It drains me. I don't know about Tyler, but it drains me.
Depends on the day. Because I like to pick on them.
That's true. Hype them up. You can be their hype man. It's so easy to be like, oh, and they're like, oh, let's go.
Yeah. But the problem is, especially with Aries, is I made the mistake. My favorite thing is Aries and I will have staring contests, and then I'll just like book it up the stairs, and he like freaks out. So we were doing that one day, and so we had this solid staring contest, probably about like 2 minutes going, and then I decided I'm running now. And so he tries to come around the corner, and he's 75 pounds, so turning is not his thing. And his knee went right through the wall. So we have a hole about that big in our wall. And he's added to it recently, where he wasn't looking where he was going and ran right into the corner. So now the corner of the wall is just not there.
Yeah, they're sometimes they can be pretty dumb, like they're meatheads.
Yeah, Aries is an idiot. I love him, but he's the smartest idiot.
Like before I came here, like Toby like turned around and there was a dresser right here. It was like, but they're like tough. So I've only heard Toby yelp like twice, and it was like
they don't feel
a head-on collision, like full speed. And then another time he got a foxtail seed stuck in his ear, and he's done some stupid crap before. So
well,
they're tough.
The other morning we woke up and she's like licking her paw, and like she was kind of like being very gentle with her paw, and we look over and her dew claw was completely turned upside down. And she didn't even, and then she ripped it off like it was nothing, like it was just like a hair.
So question with the podcast then. So do you guys go in, because I've listened to your first episode, as you've progressed into the later episodes, is it more of you guys just telling your story of what it's like to be with them, or are you giving more training tips?
So it's kind of a combination of both. We have our series, it's called like Roses and Thorns, and we do that every episode, and that kind of goes into our roses are our successes for that week of what good we've done with the dogs, and the thorns is something that either the dogs have done or we have done that could have been better, and we kind of go into that. But then we go into like our main portion, which could be training. We also talk about some dog community myths, like are kennels bad, muzzles, and all that kind of stuff. And we also have some guests that have Malinois, like we've recently had a federal canine officer on. And
really?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool.
It was really
What was
cool.
the perspective hearing that compared to what you have? Is it...
His dogs are...
wild.
Well, I think his one that's working now it's a mix, German Shepherd, Mal, and he's a little bit more goofy, but his full-bred Mal is just... He's retired, but he's not retired, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah.
Like, he still has to... He said that he has to bury gunpowder in his backyard so this dog can still
have to
work. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Or else he'll get depressed and stuff.
Well, honestly, yeah, I mean, I can imagine, like, if I was in that, like, we talk about retirement as, like, humans and stuff, but...
And we're excited, but these dogs
if you really
are
think about it, though, if you were to retire and then not be able to go do anything, how miserable that'd be. So from a dog's perspective, I'm sure it's the same thing. If you had to just sit inside, like, remembering the fun life of going out and being crazy, and then...
Yeah. I feel like we've kind of already gone through that with the virus.
Yeah.
We got a taste of it.
We had to set up our agility course in our backyard, and Toby was like, let's do this. So I see a question, so we'll just answer it. So a Mal is short for a Belgian Malinois, which is just a breed of dog.
Yeah.
So when we say Mal, it's just a...
Yeah, so if you're just joining us, we have a dog podcast where we talk about everything related to dogs, but her and I both have Belgian Malinois. So that's basically what started it all. Yeah.
Which is so awesome to hear because, you know, with different communities, not only dogs, but just other stuff, it's cool to know that even locally you can meet people through similar interests and then also become close enough friends that do stuff like this.
Right.
You know, that's
exactly.
That in itself is cool.
Yeah.
And I think people should really reach out more to their passions and their hobbies, and you never know who you're going to run into.
Right. And I think a year ago we weren't even like we knew that they were related, but we weren't like close, if that makes sense. But now here we are, kicking it, making podcasts.
So on the podcast side of things, how has it been, like, not dog related, like just doing the podcast in general? Have you, like, the ups and downs or the struggles and successes, like what have you guys seen?
it's just fun for us. I don't know. Like, I love talking about dogs. It's one of the funnest things.
Oh, yeah.
Best topic. Sorry. I might be biased, but it's the best topic out there is to talk about dogs.
Yeah.
And your experience with them. But maybe a downside. Is there a downside?
I feel like there is like a little bit of pressure because like you don't want to make someone feel bad if they're not doing what you're doing or stuff like that, and you also you don't want to say the wrong things because people are always going to disagree with you.
Yeah, no matter what.
Yeah, and so it's just kind of that pressure. I feel like it's kind of hard.
And the pressure, I always get like way behind on the website because she's in charge of like audio and everything, and I'm in charge of the website, and I'm already 2 weeks behind, and
I 100% feel you, because I'm like 3 weeks behind on stuff too, and I'm like, boy.
Well, because like I think I told you when we were messaging that I had someone say, hey, you mentioned that this would be on your website. Where is it? And I was like, working on it right now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I have episodes from like, I don't know, a month ago, and someone messaged me the other day like, hey, are you not going to put that up? Because I want to show my friends. I'm like, oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
It'll be up soon. I apologize.
And I feel like I have no excuse with like COVID and my hours being cut short, but it's like...
I know what you mean.
I don't know.
I have a nice schedule where I work 4/10, so I have 3 days off.
Oh, nice.
And then like Sunday hits, I'm like, I didn't get anything done.
Right.
I didn't do anything at all.
I feel that, like, you blink and you're like, oh, it's Monday. Okay.
Yeah.
Time to work again.
Yeah.
I feel that to my core.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun, though, and I enjoy I'm still trying to learn how to deal with attention, because that's a weird concept now that I've been doing this going on, like, 2.5 years, and, like, people actually care about what's going on with it, which is a weird sensation just because I'm like, ooh, do people expect more of me?
Yeah.
Or do I just, like, I don't want to change. That's the thing that scares me.
Right.
Is I don't want to change based off of how people are perceiving.
Right. I can see that.
But it's been a joy. I mean, we have cool people in the community who are coming in often enough to, make an impact. So
shout out.
Yeah, shout outs. Shout out to the community. I also have to say that your Instagram profile picture looks like you guys and your dog is about to drop the hottest mixtape of 2020. That's legit.
When I see that photo, I think of Run the Jewels, Oh Mama.
Yeah.
Like, I just like the dun 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 dun. That's what I think of. But we were going to do like a mountainy theme. And I was like, that's not really like mountain. So we decided to go with like the more urban, like city and...
Yeah.
Badass.
It does look badass, honestly.
That is like mountain while they're badass.
Yeah. So what is like the perception of like other dogs for you guys? Now that you're so invested in this breed and so invested in training them, I don't know how to word this without sounding weird. Do you look at other dogs and kind of be like, are you sure you want that dog? Or is it more still like dogs bring so much happiness that you're just happy to see people happy?
Yeah, I mean, when I see like, all dogs are good dogs, obviously. Right. But whenever anybody is like, comes to us and is like, hey, I'm thinking about getting a Mal, we are always like, don't.
Yeah.
Like, it's the breed that you love so much, but you would never recommend to anybody.
Right. Unless they have the time and dedication. Because I know we've had a lot of people that are like, I've done my research, like, I'm willing to put 20 hours a week to it, and you're like, great. Like,
if you know what you're getting into,
go for it.
Yeah.
But, like, they always say, get the breed of dog that matches your energy level. And I feel like Toby, well, now, since he's not a puppy, he's kind of matched my level. But when he was a puppy...
Yeah. I mean, we have an episode all about it.
Oh, my gosh. I haven't had my, like, I've heard plasma screen TVs. Her carpet got ripped out. I think the most expensive thing he destroyed was... our linoleum flooring. Yeah. Yeah, they're insane.
How did that happen?
So, when we moved into our apartment, the movers, like, scraped, like, the littlest, like, little hole that you could ever imagine. And when we decided to give Toby some freedom while we went to the grocery store, we were gone for maybe, like, 15, 20 minutes. And he found that little hole, was like, this is fun. And he ripped, like, a whole portion out. And we're like, cool.
Cool.
Well,
Thanks.
thankfully our neighbors moved out and they like had to redo the linoleum, so it was all in dumpster. And Jack was like, "Yes."
Oh, that's awesome.
And so
That's
he just
good.
like measured it out and put it back and was like, "Okay." And we
Yeah.
didn't get charged for it
That's
since
good.
we moved.
That is
So
good.
Yeah,
That is
these
good.
dogs are the definition of 0 to infinity. Way like that.
Mhm.
So do you say like you don't recommend it just because it's almost unfair to the dog if you don't have the time to commit?
Yeah.
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 a lot of them go into shelters, and I follow like Belgian Malinois lovers, and it's just people in America, well, all over, and you'll see like people will be like, "Can anyone rescue this one? Can anyone rescue this one? Is
That
anyone in
sucks.
this area?" And like I love that community though, because people will be like, "I'm close by," or like, "I'm 2 hours away. I'll drive up and foster them," and they
Yeah.
like try to rehome them, and
Yeah.
they try to save them, but it's just sad to see all these, especially after movies like John Wick. I don't
Yeah.
know if you've seen the third one, but there's Belgian Malinois, and everyone's like,
Yeah.
That's what we
Dog.
want.
"Yeah."
Yeah, and it's like these dogs bond to you so quick, and so giving them up, I feel like, because like obviously other dogs definitely bond to you just as much, but I've never seen a bond because I've had beagles, I've had labs, I've had Springer Spaniels. Like I've been around a lot of dogs and I've never seen anything like a Mal.
Mhm.
Wow.
It's true.
That is sad because I look at that the same way as like when people gift like a bunny on Easter or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it's like, oh, it's so cute.
Yeah.
And then a weekend you realize that it's more responsibility
Yeah.
than you're willing to, and then you end
Yeah.
up seeing bunnies running around neighborhoods.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sad, but you know, I definitely think that that's the most important thing is people need to learn going in before, like, don't make the impulse decision of like,
Exactly.
that dog's cool looking, he's in this movie, or he's
Mhm.
cute.
They're born that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
They're
look how
born
trained they
trained.
are, you know?
Yeah.
That dog just, what was it, John Wick 3? That dog just jumped up a wall. I
Yeah.
want that dog.
Yeah.
And then you get them
exactly.
and
I mean, these dogs can tightrope, they can skydive, they can jump up like brick walls, they can
Mhm.
jump up trees. Like they are so
They're
they
so
can
smart.
they can do so much, but it's
Trained.
trained.
Yeah.
dude, I'm lagging. Oh, sorry. So
Oh.
here's a question that I imagine is touchy, especially in dog communities. And, you know, it gets brought up a lot just in general, but breed restrictions in places and certain breeds being more destructive than others. I'm curious where you guys sit being, you know, invested in dogs like you are. Is that something that, is there a reality in it, or is it based off of how they're trained?
So kind of like what Tyler said, there's no such thing as a bad dog, just a bad human.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because she's had wonderful experiences with pit bulls. My dog got attacked by a pit bull.
Mm.
And we don't know the person, but just kind of like, well, because it attacked my dog, that person didn't train their dog. And then we had another pit bull in our neighborhood, a different pit bull, that charged Toby every time. They would let him off. And so thankfully that one didn't attack him. But it's like we knew those people and they were terrible. They would leave him inside all day. They wouldn't exercise him, no training. And so it was like, there's no such thing as a bad dog. So with the breed restriction, it's kind of crap.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you got to be a good owner, and with that, own up. And if there is something wrong, like because my dog got attacked, he's very skittish with other dogs when he's on leash, because he was on leash when he got attacked and the other dog wasn't. So when we're walking him and he sees another dog approaching, especially if that dog is anxious, he poofs up and he like gets a little nervous. And so we're being responsible and understanding that this is a behavior that we don't want, and so we're working on it. And so that's, if you find a behavior that you don't want in your dog, either seek a professional or like do some research and work on it, because that's all you can do.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Because I think giving away a dog, there's no excuse. There's so many resources out there with the internet and with even so many trainers. Because of COVID, they're offering online sessions. So you could find some of the top trainers in America. They're doing online sessions. And so I just think there's no excuse for putting a dog in a shelter.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that isn't Utah moved to 100% no-kill now shelters?
I'm
Or
not
isn't
sure.
it
I
really
don't know
close
about
to
that.
it?
I have no idea.
I think it's either really close or it's full 100% no-kill, which is great.
Yeah,
'cause,
that's
I mean,
awesome.
That is good.
Because I'm on your guys' side with that. I mean, I'm obviously not as invested in dogs, but,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the dogs that I have interacted with, definitely based on the human.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I've met pit bulls and German shepherds and Dobermans and
Yeah.
corgis and everything in between, and you can really tell based off of how the person acts how the dog's going to be.
Well, it's like if you don't want to put the time into training, then get like a Chihuahua.
Yeah.
Because if like a Chihuahua bites you, you're like, a scratch, you know, rather than a Doberman or a Rottweiler where its mouth is the size of my head. So.
Right. That will cause some serious damage.
Yeah. Yeah, because it does frustrate me when I see people that have, like, dogs that have bad reputations and then they're not working to, like, prove that reputation wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It, like, it bugs me so much.
Right.
Like, I've sent her so many texts where I'm like, this person has a pit bull and they're just letting it out. Like, they're not even watching it. Like, what are they doing?
Yeah. It's true. It's sad. And that's why, like, one of the trainers, he's, like, known as a dog whisperer, Caesar Malone.
Yeah.
That's why he has a pit bull, because he's like, I want to show people that these dogs aren't bad, but they're good dogs. Yeah.
I know that he kind of turned into a meme for a while.
Yeah.
But he's actually really brilliant, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's the whole joke behind it, is like, he's kind of out there and weird, but realistically he is
right.
Yeah.
I go with some of his training stuff, but I mostly stick to this one guy named Mike Ritland. If you listen to the podcast, I mentioned him like 5,000 times, but he's a former Navy SEAL canine unit, and his training, he whips these dogs into shape, and he uses bond and trust, and that's with these dogs. That's one of those things that, like, if you have that, they will do anything for you. So yeah, Mike Ritland, if you want to, and he has an online training course. So
search it.
Yeah. Team Dog. Not sponsored.
So is it, I just lost my train of thought because I saw the cute dog.
I know,
those are really cute.
I like the third one over. That's kind of how I feel right now.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. So with, like, you mentioned a little bit of, like, there's always people who are going to disagree with you. Have you guys ran into anything that has been just... I don't even have to finish the question. Anything that's just been outrageous?
Yeah.
Yep. So Toby wears an e-collar, which, like, that's, like, some people, it's really taboo. It's banned in some places or countries, I should say. But the way his e-collar is, it has a shock and it has a vibrate. And mostly with him, we use a vibrate. We only use a shock when it's like he's not listening, because these dogs are stubborn. And so what the vibrate is essentially doing is it's snapping his brain off of whatever he's focusing on and refocusing on us. But recently, we haven't really had to use it. It was more of like a puppy thing. And so we're kind of weaning off of it, because if you don't need it, then why use it?
Right.
But a lot of people see my posts with Toby wearing it and they're like, that's abuse. And it's like, I'm not cranking it up to 99 and going zap, 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 if that makes sense. I'm just using it when necessary. But a lot of people don't see that.
Interesting.
Sorry, I'm just triggered. So, we have this video. It kind of went viral a little bit. It feels weird to say that, but it did. And
It did.
so there's this video I found on YouTube, and it's like, if you search up like sounds that dogs love, it's basically just like a video of like toy sounds and dogs crying, and like for some reason the sound of like dogs whining, Athena loves it. Like her tail will wag and she'll just, we call it sing. But Aries, whenever something loud is happening, he likes to chase his tail. And like, it's not because like he's stressed out. It's not like, it's just him. Like, he's a dummy. But so it's a video of Athena singing, and Aries is just going around and around and around, barking and chasing his tail. And people like ripped me a new one. They're like, this is not cute. You're stressing him out. And I was like, why would I stress my dogs out, film it, and then put it on the internet? Like, that's so twisted. Like, they're fine. Like, I would never. Like, if you go, like, and the funniest thing was the post previous, like, literally if you just scrolled one more post down, was a video of Aries when he was 12 weeks old, just chasing his tail, and then, like, fast forward to then, so I think he was, like, a year old, and I was just like...
What did the video go viral on?
Instagram mostly.
Yeah.
But it, like, with the Belgian Malinois page, you would see it pop up. People would share, and I'd be like, hey, I know that video.
Yeah, I like ended up on Facebook and ended up on YouTube. Like,
I think that is part of just the weird culture that is social media now, because I think people are just so quick to make snap decisions and write something that they might not even believe, because they just perceive one thing. Like, for example, I have a TikTok for Topshelfers. TikTok is whatever it is, whatever people want to think. It's wild or whatever. But I have a fat cat, and the internet loves her. It's funny. But a lot of people immediately like, you're abusing your cat. Yeah. You know, when in reality, if they were to take the time to learn, I have 3 other cats. All 3 of them are healthy, happy, and everything. Yeah. And we've done all the things that we can do to try and get her to lose weight and diet food. But the problem is like, she has cat anxiety, which I didn't know was a thing until I was told. So when she gets put in situations like that we were recommended, like feed her away from the other cats, you know, portion or whatever, she just won't eat. And then she freaks out. So it's been like a struggle, but it's so, it's sad when we, at least, not for me, I know how the internet works, but like my mom like loves seeing her videos, and then she'll read the comments and just get destroyed because people are being vicious and savages. And like what you said with your video, like, they're seeing this moment and then taking a snap judgment when they don't know the whole reality.
So like, it doesn't bug me, but I'm just kind of like, you don't even realize how stupid you sound right now.
That's the sad part. Because I mean, if they just take the video for what it actually is, it's probably hilarious.
It's funny.
But... And I've had people say, like, with the whole e-collar thing, they're like, well, I have a Malin, I don't have to use one. And it's like...
Yeah, they don't use one.
We're
thinking about it just for recall purposes, but...
Yeah, that's why we originally got it. But then it's like, when we would ask Toby to do something, and he would just be like, no. Make me. Or he'd be like, focus on something else. And it's just kind of like, if they're not, because they have that like laser focus, and it's like, you just want to vibrate them and be like, hey. Like,
so it's almost like, so how it works is it just breaks their concentration, snaps them back to reality, to what they're not focusing on, so then you can command. Okay, I gotcha.
Exactly.
It's kind of like with people, like when you stare out and people kind of like snap.
That, you zone out. That makes sense.
And, like, we've done our research on it. We're not, like, just, like I said, putting it up to 99 and be like, haha, you didn't do what's right. I'm zapping you. Like, we don't ever want to hurt him. Like, that's not my goal.
It's used in a proactive manner. It's not used in a...
Exactly.
Let's zap the dog.
We're doing appropriate consequences, because every action has a consequence. Right. And so we're doing punishment fits the crime. And we're doing this so that when he gets older, if A or B were to appear, he would focus on us, and he wouldn't care about that. It would be on us. And we could tell him, okay, we're going to ignore this, we're going to move away, or do what's appropriate.
Right.
So, but again, they don't see that. They just see the collar on his neck.
Of course.
And assume that I'm Cruella DeVille. Which, thinking about that, sorry, this is dogs and stuff. That movie's awful.
Yeah. Super awful.
I've never, like, I kind of saw it when I was a kid, but I was just like,
it's
so
rude.
ADHD. I was like, I have better things to do. So I've never seen it.
So she wants these 101 Dalmatians skin
and make
for
a coat, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I know, like, the...
Like, what? I was thinking about it. It was like one of those shower thoughts, and I was like,
Just kill these dogs.
Like, what's wrong with you? Even puppies.
He had some mommy issues.
Mm-hmm.
Like, every Disney movie, like, the mom is dead or evil. Like,
true.
Jeez.
That is way more true than I ever thought about.
Yes.
Almost every single...
Like, I can't think of, like, a good mother figure in a Disney movie. I mean, like, Nala's mom was kind of tight.
Mulan.
Just giving her a bath before they went to the elephant graveyard.
I mean, if Pixar, I guess Toy Story, it's only the mom.
Yeah.
But then there's still dad issues because he's not in
He's not there. Oh.
Damn, Disney hitting us with the reality.
Sorry, we have to return that.
Damn.
And that's the team.
We spilled it for you.
Except Moana and Brave.
Fair point.
But doesn't the mom die in Brave?
No, she gets turned into a bear. But she's kind of crappy in the beginning.
True.
Because she's not listening to her kid.
And then she had to go change her fate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moana's a good movie, though.
Yeah. Very
Mom's,
good.
yeah, it's true. The mom was like, just go. Go. Ignore your dad. Go.
So outside of dogs, because, you know, it's fun to go on other podcasts. At least this is what I do when I go on other podcasts when you're so focused on one topic. What are things that you guys do that are not involved with the dogs? Or is that, is it not?
Wait, you're saying
There's
that
a life?
world out there?
Well, it's crazy because, like, before we had Toby, we couldn't imagine a life with him. But now it's like, what did we do?
Right.
Like, what? I don't know. Because we take him hiking now. We, like, take him on walks. Our life is, like, revolved around him. And
Interesting. So it really has changed, like, your whole entire dynamic
yeah.
at the core.
I mean, like, right now I'm playing Animal Crossing, but guess who's, like, sprawled all over me? It's
You're right.
Toby, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, every aspect you always have to, like, think, because, like, Jason, my boyfriend, like, we've been wanting to go on, like, a vacation, but we just don't know what to do with the dogs. Like, we either have to bring them or we have to find someone to watch them, but it's so hard to, like, find somebody that has, like, the emotional well-being.
Right.
Because the veterinarians are wild.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, so many people that we know already have dogs, so to have their dogs plus our dogs, it's so, like, everything, you just always have them kind of in, like, the back of your mind. So
Yeah, I have a bad story about that. My husband and I went on our honeymoon last year. I won't say the name of the boarding company just for legal stuff. But they lied and said that my dog was aggressive towards other dogs. They kenneled him for up to 12 hours, only letting him have bathroom breaks, not like, that's it. And with this dog, you cannot do that.
Wow.
He shredded his bed, and it's like, it was just, we picked him up and we took him, we actually had like a dog training session right after that, ironically. And we told our trainer, and she's like, they freaking lied. Like, she was like, how dare, like, that's not okay. So fast forward to a couple months later, we tried this new place. We love them. They're awesome. They love Toby. Every time they see him, they're like, Toby, and they freak out. And so it's just like a tale of two different businesses that do the same thing. They offer the same stuff, but they use that breed like, oh, Belgian Malinois, automatically aggressive. Yeah. And this was, ironically, this one ex-employee messaged me on Yelp because I left a bad review, and she's like, hey, I just wanted to let you know that what they did was wrong. I quit because of, like, their practices. Wow. And, like, I kind of, like, would sneak into Toby's kennel and, like, be with him because, like, what they were doing, and I don't know, but yeah, it's scary.
So, I mean, is it at the point now, right, where, because, like I was saying earlier, like, dogs are individuals now. It's not just a grouping anymore. It's not just, oh, those are those dogs. Like, every dog is an individual. I mean, we're at the point now where dogs are getting rights, you know?
Yeah.
And is it just like an old way of thinking that some of these companies are running, where they just think like there's a formula that works, and then we have these new companies who are, you know, I don't know how to word it properly, but new age thinking, where they're like, oh yeah, that's Toby. He's an individual. He needs to be treated like an individual. He's going to have his own quirks and whatnot. We have to adapt to that instead of just, oh, number one, put him in there.
Right.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, I could totally see that. Because, I don't know, it's, he's a Malinois and he's psycho, but it's like if this other place that we love, they know and they understand and their workers are trained, if they start spazzing out, if they maybe lash out at another dog, they just need a break.
Yeah.
They're good with dogs, they just simply need a break. And so that's what they do is, and they have webcams, and I've seen Toby in the kennel. I'm like, was he okay? And she's like, oh yeah, don't worry, like if it was serious we would have called you. He was just going crazy, so we put him in for like 5 minutes and then he was fine. So it's like, it's just, I guess the old ways, like breed bad,
right,
stick him away, where it's like, no, he just needed a break. That's the new kind of thought process.
Yeah, the new mindset.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess going back to like what you were asking, like outside of the dog world. I mean, I write my own music. I do that kind of stuff. I really like plants. I have way too many.
No such thing as too many plants.
I can't breathe. I need that oxygen.
Yeah, right?
But yeah, I've been a musician my whole life, and so that's kind of, I think, the biggest, like, other world to me is, like, dogs and then music.
So what do you do as far as music? Do you compose? Do you sing? Do you play instruments? All of it?
Right now, yeah. Like, I sing, I play guitar and ukulele mostly.
Wow.
I'm trying to learn now that I have, like, podcast equipment, if I could use that to, like, start producing my own stuff. Like, my dad has a home studio.
Oh, wow.
So, like, I used to mess around in there with him, and it was really fun. Like, he's taught me everything I know, like, guitar-wise, and my mom has taught me everything vocal-wise, and, like, they have a band themselves. It's, like,
really?
A gypsy punk band.
Oh, that is so rad.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So, I've just grown up in music. And so it's been really fun.
Shout out.
Yeah,
Tyler's
they're watching.
Mom and Dad.
My mom's texting me. She's like, you do this and you do this. Thanks, Mom. You're right.
Good looking out.
Yeah. So yeah, and then you.
Work.
Yeah.
You
Animal
get me hooked
Crossing.
on TV shows.
Oh, Parks and Rec.
Oh, Parks
She
and
got
Rec's
me
great.
emotionally invested in Parks and Rec.
I did.
Yeah.
That was true. Yeah, so Netflix, Animal Crossing right now.
Yeah, Bieber in the chat is my girlfriend, and
Oh.
she is heavy into Animal Crossing.
This is what
Heavy.
I didn't play the original one. It is amazing.
Yeah.
I've been missing out on it my whole life. It is wonderful.
That's how I feel about Pokemon Go. I'm like, no one plays it anymore. But I didn't have a smartphone when it was popular, so now I have my smartphone, and I'm like,
Pokemon Go is the best.
anyone plays Pokemon Go, please add me. So I feel that.
Yeah, Animal Crossing is a good time. I started playing it too, but I haven't put in the work that I need to yet.
I
but-
have a guide. I have to do my dailies. I have to get fossils every day. I need to talk to Tom Nook.
Okay, let's talk about Tom Nook for a second. He's a little shady.
Oh, I hate him. He's
Little
a pervert.
shady. Yeah.
I don't know if I can say that word. Sorry.
You can.
But it's just like when you first get your tent and then you like wake up and he's like outside and he's like, "Hey,
Where them bells at, boy?"
I hated it.
I
Yeah,
think I need to play.
you need to play, and then we
I
could
feel
play
left
together,
out.
and then we could have a podcast about Animal Crossing and dogs.
Yeah. Mal Animal Crossing.
That's
We're rebranding.
that was good off the top. Now, Animal Crossing is highly addictive, so be careful. You'll turn it on, and then like 8 hours later, you're like, "Oh, it's dark out."
Whatever. I don't care. Oh, I missed work.
Yeah.
I'm making bells right here.
Work will be here
Or
tomorrow.
bones. It'll be bones in Animal Crossing.
There you
Oh.
Make bones.
So funny.
So, what are some of the topics that you guys wanted to bring? Because when, I'm not knowledgeable about dogs, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I had a dog growing up. His name was also Toby. He was a brown lab,
Toby's the best name.
named after the Great Mouse Detective.
Oh, I thought you were going to say The Office. I was like,
Toby Flenderson.
Oh, really?
Because we wanted to be like, if he did something wrong, we'd be like, "Damn it, Toby!"
That's so good.
But you can't yell at a dog like that, come to find out. So it's like,
Yeah.
well,
Dude,
it's
anyway.
still a great name, so
Just kidding.
But,
do it anyway.
besides that, like, when I was younger, right, the perception of dogs was still a little bit different than what it is now. Like, I grew up with him, and he was an outside dog, and, like, he could do, like, the basic stuff, but, when I was 10, I didn't know about all the things that you could teach dogs now. And I wish I would have had that relationship with him when when I was younger, but it's cool to see how far it's evolved to the point where even, you can get a dog at your house and you can train him to be, awesome.
And I feel like that's part of the internet.
Yeah.
It's like, you can look up how to teach my dog to do this, and you could do it within a couple days. You know?
The internet's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, the internet's bad, but the internet's so awesome. Like, not only that, but, like, you can learn anything.
Yeah.
What was that one channel? The Dad Does or whatever?
Oh, I found this. I'm sure you guys have heard of it. The Dad, How Do I?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh man, he did a video the other day where he like read you a bedtime story, and I was like, wow, I needed that. Thank you.
Gonna
It's
sleep
so
great.
precious. And he teaches you all the tools, how to change a tire, how to build a bench is I think the last one he did.
I don't know if it was him, but I watched a video of a dad, like that was his brand too, he's a dad, and he showed me over a YouTube video how to change a sprinkler, because I ran one over.
What was that?
Someone followed, thank you.
Woo!
Hey!
I forgot the sound was on. But yeah, what were some of the topics you guys wanted to bring to the table?
Oh wait, let's see.
I have to go to my email. Let's take a look.
While we do that, I'm just gonna check to make sure everything's good. You guys can.
Can you? I remember when I was last time on here. Can you still watch like YouTube videos?
No.
Oh, you don't do that.
We So YouTube is its own creature.
Oh no.
And basically, if you play a YouTube video that isn't yours nowadays, it will immediately get you a copyright strike.
Really?
Which in turn, the reason why it happens so much is if, let's say we play a video of a song, okay, and they copyright it.
Right.
What they can do is then monetize my podcast.
That's right.
And that's the only reason why they do it. I mean, obviously, you don't want people abusing your content and using it for financial gain and whatnot.
Right.
But it's even turned to like, we would play clips of like stuff that we're talking about that's relevant to the podcast, and then the video producer or even the organization that owns the video will copyright it just to monetize it and make money off of us. So I've just got to the point where it's not
worth it.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, it kind of sucks, but
Yeah.
Because I was going to say we could watch some videos of Malinois because they're friggin' amazing, but...
you watch your guys' videos if you want. But
that's true.
Maybe we can find a video that I got yelled at for.
That's true.
let's see if we can... Is it on... What would it be on?
Instagram,
Yeah.
if you can do that.
I'm not really sure.
Grahamtown.
Is it going to be on your guys' page?
It'll be on my dog's
The
page.
dog's page.
Let me see if we can even use Instagram on... Because I know it's weird.
It's a good time on there.
Okay. And what's your...
Athena dot Aries AR. Oh, there we are.
There it is.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look at those.
Those are my babies.
Beautiful.
Oh, I thought the dinosaur in my bio was a squirrel. I was like, when did that happen? So those
You
are
got
my
quite the
babies.
following on your
Yeah.
Instagram too. Wow.
Thanks.
So whereabouts?
Oof, it'll be deep
Down.
in there.
We're kind of obsessed with these dogs.
Yeah.
I can see why.
So can people see your screen right now?
No,
Oh,
I can
okay.
make them.
Okay,
I can do that. I just didn't want to, just in case.
That's my boy. Yeah, because it's back when Aries was kind of little.
Yeah.
See, look at that.
Yeah.
Fire mixtape.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Better watch out.
Let's see.
Now we're getting warmer. Aw, they're so cute.
They're so cute.
Wow, I love them.
Like this one.
Aries is getting smaller, so
That's good.
Was it okay? So while we're scrolling, I have a question
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
Was it difficult bringing another dog into the mix?
Yes and no. Luckily, Athena, she was so good. Like, we got her to a point where, like, we weren't too worried, but just kind of, because it changed our whole entire lifestyle. The dynamic changed completely. And so it was kind of just teaching another dog the new lifestyle when he is so different from her, even though they are related. But yeah, it was just completely different dynamic entirely.
Because I know that can definitely be a difficult thing to like when you have a dog that's already established in the home, that's already like,
Yeah.
you know, in the environment, to bring something new into it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure you've all heard horror stories of
Yeah.
bad situations, but I mean, I imagine that just harkens back to the owners.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Being really just patient with it.
Boy.
But Athena, it was love at first sight for Athena. Like it almost looked like she had rabies because she had thick foam around like her lips when she saw Aries. Like it was just so weird. And he's just a very sensitive boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You really are beautiful dogs. It's
Athena in her ear.
I know.
Oh, that makes me so sad.
What happened?
We were doing the pictures kind of right there, and Athena walked right into a thorn bush, and it just kind of filleted her ear.
Oh.
Yeah. And so she had to wear a bonnet. She's a little prairie girl.
It was so cute, but so sad at the
Yeah,
same time.
she hated it, but her aerodynamics were fantastic. Okay, we're getting smaller.
Oh, there's Toby's birthday, where they're eating the cake.
Oh yeah. The day we met. Aww.
Let's see.
Have we already passed it? No, we won't have already.
I'm trying to think if we've met or when that happened.
Oh, whoopee.
I know, they're just so
he was
little.
so cute. Okay, no, it was. We're getting really close. I was like.
Trying to go slow because this keyboard is iffy sometimes.
Because I almost think he might be too small. Let me see. We might have passed it. Yeah, I think we passed it.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're okay. You can go back up.
I'll kind of see. Maybe I can DM it to you.
But if
I
we're in
can
the
find it.
realm of where it would be.
Let's see. I can find it too.
What would it look like? Like the initial.
Athena's sitting on the couch with her head in the air. Oh, okay. I found it. So.
Yeah, if you can DM it, I think, and this will go directly to me.
I'll do that.
Check chat to see. Cause P contests?
It's true.
What does that mean?
Like, so if I understand right, it's like marking.
Mm.
Like, this is
Ew.
my spot, so I gotta pee here. Excuse me, this is my spot, so I gotta pee here.
Interesting.
If I'm thinking of that right, because
Okay,
Toby
so I
works
did
and it's
DM you.
annoying.
We were super close.
It might be loud, so I apologize.
Oh, that'd be great.
to it. Just kidding. Those are my kids.
I love them.
Oh.
I love them so much.
That's so good.
Yep.
Is that daily? Is that a daily, like, are they just that energetic?
Yep.
That's so great.
Yep.
Hi, Phase.
What's up?
What up?
You know it. Just kidding.
Beating the dogs or something? Yeah, pretty much. That's kind of how it goes. Don't know what to tell you about that one.
Hot dogs?
Yeah.
You love hot dogs.
I do.
Good call.
Mm.
Trying to think. What
Have you been to J-Dogs?
No, but I used to be a carpet cleaner, and I was cleaning this mansion, and these people, their son was the owner of J-Dogs, so they gave me coupons for it, but I didn't want to go drive down to Provo, so I just gave them
I
away.
think there's one closer now.
Is there?
In, like,
Is that
Lehigh?
Jordan or Lehigh? Yeah, something like that.
Just hate it down
Yeah.
yeah, it's too busy.
Way too busy.
Yikes.
there. Yeah.
That's why I got out of Bountiful. It's busy and expensive.
Oh, it is so hectic now.
Yeah.
It's Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I don't
really
blame you.
don't.
I hate it.
Like,
Because my parents still live up here, and it's like,
I live 10 minutes from here, but if I go during traffic, like 6 o'clock, it takes like 20, 25.
yeah.
Like,
I
it's
can see that.
way crazy nowadays.
Yeah.
Where did you guys grow up? I mean, I kind of know that
Yeah.
you were
Here.
around here.
Yeah. I mean, kind of in Sandy, but like I was so little, I don't really count it. So I grew up in Riverton.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was that? Utah?
Yeah.
Same old.
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah, I feel like Utah's mostly the same across the board, except
Yeah.
some specific areas.
Yeah, my neighborhood was pretty stereotypical Utah, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same with
Except
mine.
for like our circle, my house especially. We were the sore thumb.
And I get your numbers, even you, ginger cutie.
Who's the ginger?
I don't know. I'm sure my beard looks ginger when it's on camera.
Yeah.
It happens.
Blonde.
That's true. My head is very square. Looks like a Minecraft.
I was just thinking that, so in my head I was going,
This is what I asked for.
Yeah,
I'm
you got it. You got
excited.
the roast.
Yes. It finally happened.
Yeah.
Third time's a charm.
I think the best roast I ever got was I'll pull up the picture. Some guy came in and was just on a tear for some reason. And it was Forrest and I. But he said that we looked like what is it, Mr. Rose Island? Something like that.
But I think we actually answered like all the ones
Yeah,
that we
that's what I
came
was
up
thinking.
with.
Oh, I'm so
So
excited.
good for us. What? What is that?
It was like an obscure reference to something that I was like I can't remember it. I'll have to ask
Pretty good.
Forrest and find it and I'll send it to you guys. But someone came in and was roasting us and he said that we looked like this pair from this like obscure 80s movie. And Forrest was like this like small like 1 foot pink like creature thing, and then I was some like Bigfoot looking creature thing, and I'm like, solid roast.
Yes.
That's what I always say. If people want to come in and troll, I get it. Just be unique.
Yeah, have a good roast.
Yeah, if you're gonna roast, like, bring your game. Like,
Right. Like
Be
when
Cody Co level.
one time when I used to do Twitch, like gaming, I had my hair tied back and it was blonde, and this one kid was like, "Do you have cancer?" And it was just a simple like, no, move on. Like, be original. Come on,
Right.
say something else.
Yeah, people are very clever though. There's a guy who comes in and was gonna pay Forrest and I to eat mayonnaise out of my beard. You're welcome to Twitch streaming and how wild it
This
gets.
is how women make money too. It's like, just show me your feet for $15. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had women on the podcast and people would be sitting there like, "Hey, we'll Venmo you money if you show your feet on the stream." I'm like, "Oh my
As
Lord."
I tuck my feet
Right.
under the chair.
No kidding. The internet is a scary place.
Yeah.
No kidding.
A very scary
Gotta
place.
love it.
Sometimes.
That
Sometimes.
reminds me of that Vine with the girl. Do you pick your nose?
Sometimes. Vine was just so great.
What happened to it?
I don't know. I think TikTok is trying to get there.
It will not be the same.
No.
Change my mind.
Definitely won't be. But I do enjoy TikTok more than I'm wanting to admit. That it's becoming more memey like Vine was.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know. There's a cesspool on that app of just not bueno. Oh no. It's happening.
It's happening.
That's
And your
funny.
parents.
No,
Sorry,
they can't.
Mom.
They can't see it.
Oh, okay.
I think that'd be good.
Yeah. That's the problem sometimes. I can't avoid it.
No.
I can't ever avoid it. I can't go one show without people coming in here and being savages.
That's fine.
Speaking of my parents' house, though, this is kind of a random story, but they have like their kitchen and like hallway is all hardwood floor, and Aries, like, he's so big, and so we had a rope, and I just sat on the chair, and he was pulling me up and down the hallway.
Oh,
It was
wow.
awesome.
That's right.
So what do you guys have like goals for the dogs? Like, if that makes sense, is there like
Yeah.
like
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
So what is like your progress? Like, is there a point in time where you are like, okay, he's exactly where I want him to be? Or is it more along the lines of always adapting to what is coming to the table? If that makes sense?
Definitely what comes to the table,
Yeah.
I feel like, because you always have like one goal, because I always try to focus on one thing, because it's a lot easier and less frustrating. And so if you focus on one thing, then you can move to the next. I feel like that's just kind of healthy regardless, like even as like a person, like you should always have one goal to focus on and then always look for improvements.
Like with Toby, we're doing agility, like I mentioned. Not doing great on it. We're struggling. Because it's like with agility, you have to get the equipment out and like, I don't know, it's struggling.
Yeah.
No.
I wish Athena and Aries were here so I could just be like, yeah.
Oh, puppy feet are so cute though.
Yeah.
But we're also doing bite work with Toby.
You're doing what, sorry?
Bite work.
We've also been teaching him about bullets.
Oh yeah. We're also having him smell like gunpowder.
Okay.
And like if he smells it, we're teaching him how instead of like clawing at it and being like it's right here, he needs to politely like lay down and just like look at us. I wish I had a video, but I don't. But bite work is like the guy, you know, in the big old suit, and you never do it as the handler. So we have like a club that we're part of, and so they have decoys, and Toby bites them, and it's just kind of like how to bite appropriately. And
so teaching them that if a scenario were to come around, this is what you need to do instead of just winging it.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't even think about that
well,
side of things.
What's great is with like Toby, if there's an object or something that he's unfamiliar with, or like one time my husband was in his uniform and was coming into our house and he didn't recognize my husband, and he like booked it like full on like heckles, like charging at him, and then he realized it was him and was like, oh, never mind. But like that's the kind of dog you want in that situation if it was someone that you didn't
He's actually
know.
yeah. Does that get scary sometimes on the opposite side of things though, bringing people over, or is it?
Oh my god, yeah.
Not for me, but
Toby's an angel. Yeah. Athena and Aries charge the door, and then they'll be like, "Oh, actually, just kidding. We know you." So we've been working on like impulse control with that. So like, I made the wonderful mistake of downloading Uber Eats. And so I use it as training, and so like I request for them to ring the doorbell, and then when it happens, like I just have them like try not to bark, stay like where they are, and it's been going pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, they do charge, and so we've been working on that. But when you were saying about Jack Toby charging him, Athena and Aries will do this where they'll just forget that we're there. And like it's happened to me where like the last time Athena will see me, my hair will be down, and then I'll go in the other room and put my hair up and come back in, and she'll just be like, what the hell? And so she's charged me, and like it's taken my breath away. But I think the funniest one was my boyfriend was at the kitchen counter, literally in the same room, and Athena just completely forgot he was there and just charged him so hard. And I thought it was really funny, but it's probably really scary.
Toby does that sometimes. He'll forget, like, my husband's just in our bedroom, and my husband will, like, move, and he'll be like, it's time to go. And then, like, he'll, like, kind of look at me, which is cool, because he'll look at me and be like, what should I do? And I'll just be like, go check it out. And he'll, like, sure enough, he'll run in and make sure everything's okay. Which I like that he kind of, rather than just, like, bum rushing it, because that could maybe cause a lawsuit, it's like, he looks at me, and I'm like, yeah, go see if it's okay. And when he sees that it's okay, he's like, okay, cool.
Well, we actually had a very interesting, which I still, like, just thinking about it, I still don't get where this guy was at. But I was home alone one night, and, like, 2 nights prior, we had, like, this guy trying to sell, like, the little peepholes in the door.
Yeah.
And so we told him no, because, like, you can do it yourself. Like, it's way cheaper, way easier. So we told him no twice, like, 2 nights in a row. And then the 3rd night, I was home alone. And he came, and I was on a walk. Like, I didn't have anything on me. Like, normally I always, like, carry pepper spray. But he was on my porch, like, just on his phone. And so I was, like, kind of freaked out because I knew my front door was unlocked. And so I go up and I'm like, hey, can I help you? And he just kind of was, like, repeatedly asking me if I lived there, like, do you live here? And so I was like, hey, you need to leave, like, time for you to go. And my dogs are like super huge, poofy, just teeth, like barking their heads off. And he straight up was like, well, I'll leave if you give me one of your dogs. I was like, well, do you see them? Right? Like, go for it.
Yeah, try.
Yeah.
See how well it goes.
And I just don't get that. Because, like, I'm scared of my dogs sometimes. So for him to just be like, yeah, give me one of your dogs and I'll leave. Like,
so he was just
them.
a salesman?
Yeah. I think. I don't know. I think he had other motives. But he, like, apparently was doing it to other neighbors. Where he's like, I'll give you free people if you give me your dog. And so he just came to the wrong door. Because I was like,
No. Yeah, that's not okay.
Weird.
Yeah.
That's
It was really
interaction.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, if I saw two dogs, like, poofy as hell with their teeth out, ready to eat me, the last thing I would be like, you're right. Goodbye.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, you can have my wallet.
Yeah.
So I don't get it.
No, I don't either.
I think about it a lot, and I just don't get it.
Has there been any negative interactions with other people? Like if you go on a walk, or people like...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
From what? So, like, what ways?
So, like, I've been by myself walking my dog, and Toby feeds off my energy.
Mm-hmm.
And so this one guy, I don't know, we have, like, this cell phone tower by us, and it has, like, the brick wall around it, and there's corners, and there's this guy just, like, hanging out there, and we were kind of getting close, and Toby was, like, looking at him as we got closer, like, heckles, and he was, like, he just didn't feel comfortable around this guy, because neither did I. It was, like, this random guy just, like, hanging out there, and he had no point being there. So, yeah. Just, if I don't feel good, my dog doesn't feel good, he doesn't like you.
Right.
Like, I'm glad that he didn't, like, approach or anything, because he would be missing his throat.
Well, yeah, our rule of thumb is, like, because, like, Aries, he feeds off of Athena, and we feed off of Athena. So if, like, Athena doesn't like you, then we automatically won't like you.
Mm-hmm.
So if Athena feels weird, we trust that more than anything.
Yeah.
It's like, even late at night, if she hears something, I'll be like, yeah, you go check it out. Like, if you think you heard something, then you go.
Mm-hmm. Validating how they feel.
Mm-hmm.
So on the flip side of things, have you guys had any people who got, like, mad at your dogs for a reason? Or is that...
Not that I remember.
I've had an experience, not that they got mad. I got more mad at the owner because we were on an off-leash dog trail, Parley's, and this one dog just kept, like, trying to pick a fight with Toby, like, would get in his area, like, and Toby would, like, give him a warning, like, back off. It's kind of like if a guy were to get in your face and, like, puff out, just be like, want to fight, picking the fight, and we're just like, kick Toby, like, just do your own thing. And eventually, like, this dog, like, attacked my dog. Not, like, bad. I don't know. Like, just tackled, like, tried to tackle him. It wasn't playful, though. And so my dog got on top of their dog, and, like, this dog was trying to, like, bite my dog, but, like, it's almost like Toby had him pinned. It's kind of hard to describe.
Yeah.
And so I grabbed Toby's back legs. No, my husband grabbed Toby's back legs, because that's how you separate a dog fight. Just fun fact, like, you grab their back legs so that no dogs can really bite you. So my husband grabbed Toby's back legs and kind of pulled him out. And then I got, like, in between that dog and Toby and just kind of, like, made sure that it was, like, creating space. And then the owners walked by, not helping us, and they just laughed. They thought it was the funniest thing in the world that their dog, like, tried to attack my dog.
I would have thrown some hands.
Right.
It was just like, whatever. So we kind of, like, hung back, let them go ahead, and then we kind of continued. But it's just,
so weird.
People are so weird when it comes to dogs sometimes.
Well, you would think, too, like, I guess that just really shows them that's probably, like, normal, right?
Right.
That's just their, oh, yeah, the dog just being a dog.
Right.
Yeah.
And different experience. We went hiking yesterday on the Bonneville Shoreline Trail, and our dog was on leash, and this other dog wasn't, and the guy was just running with his dog. And the dog was by his side for the most part, but the dog was kind of curious and wanted to see Toby, and got too close and made Toby lunge, but nothing really happened. But the guy had good control, was like, no, you're not doing that, let's go. And he apologized to us. He's like, I'm so sorry, like, and just kept running. Which is like, there's always bad, but there's always good, too.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm a helicopter parent, so like if I see like a potential situation, I'm like, come here. So
Not today, Satan.
yeah. Like when we went up to Park City for that meetup, and that poodle just wasn't, and like, cause like at the time Aries wasn't fixed, and so I was very aware of like the potential that like another male dog could tell that he's not fixed, and a fight could break out. So as soon as like I saw a dog like following Aries, I would just like scoop him up, be like, move him over here.
So why is that like a scent thing, or is that?
I would assume so. They kind of can just like tell that they're a male with more male hormones, I would imagine. Yeah.
Well, it's also that alpha thing too. Like, even though you have this, I'm still more dominant. Like, I'm the dominant one. Because
Aries likes to think. Like, he'll, like, poof up and, like, be like, I am man. But he's also very submissive, so he'd be like, you're right. Like, Athena throws him around, like, she's actually put on, like, a lot, like, not a lot of weight, but, like, before she was, like, 48 pounds. And then since getting Aries, she's 53 now. Just from lifting.
So is there a big difference between the male and the female? Like, notice like from training him and stuff, or is it still just?
I think it just depends on the dog.
Yeah. I don't know, because I feel like Toby and Athena are pretty similar, but Athena's female and Toby's male, so I don't know.
And Athena, she's like treat or frisbee driven. Aries is very much like verbal praise driven. Like he wants to be told he's a good boy. And he wants hugs. But Athena's like, just give me some chicken or throw my frisbee. I don't really care.
Yeah.
So it kind of just depends on the dog, which has been kind of interesting and annoying because Athena, like when you discipline her, she likes very like stern, you messed up. But with Aries, you have to talk him through it because if you're too mean about it, he will pee everywhere.
Oh.
And so we've had to learn to like talk through like, you messed up, here's why, here's how we're gonna fix it.
So here's a long-term question for you guys. Maybe you haven't thought about it. Like, is there a point in time where you'd want to like take everything to like a different level of like maybe trying to like build something where other people who have a Mal can come and like train with you guys, or maybe even like have like community parties with Mals and stuff like that? Or
I'd be definitely down for that.
Like a Mal meetup and
yeah,
something like that. I don't think I could ever feel comfortable like giving someone like, I mean, we tell people from our experience, but again, like, we're not trainers, and so like people do ask us like, hey, my dog's doing this, and if it's something like they jump up on me, then I give them like my advice. But if it's something like we had one where it was like a dog was biting people, and I'm like, no, like that's a trainer.
That's a professional thing.
Like our thing is, you know how they say if it's an emergency, dial 911. Right. That's us.
Yeah.
If it's an emergency, dial 911.
Yeah.
Well, that's smart that you guys are well aware of like the boundaries of feeling comfortable. Because I think you see that a lot on the internet where someone claims to be more than what they are, and they're giving advice to people who want it, and ends up being really poor advice. And really bad situations. Because I saw to me it's really silly, but it sounds fun, as like the California convention for Corgis. If you guys have seen this.
Oh my gosh, like thousands of Corgis.
There's nothing I love more in this world than watching a Corgi run.
Yeah, it's so great.
I love it so much.
I watched there was like a 20-minute documentary, like mini doc about that event.
The surfing Corgi?
Yeah. It's so great.
Yeah.
But it'd be cool to get to a point with that, like to do something like that with, you know, any type of dog breed. Because I mean, obviously Corgis are popular from media and whatnot, but I feel like a lot of people would come for any type of breed because, like you said, it's a lifestyle. It's you know, so I'm sure they want to share that lifestyle.
Right. And one hard part about COVID is just there's something in Utah that goes on. It's called the Yappy Hour, and it's like they fence off. What is it? It's the City Hall building, kind of in Salt Lake City, and they have like food trucks, like beer, wine, vendors, and we were actually planning on being a vendor for that occasion and like asking people about. Yeah, we had a lot of fun things planned, but it's like this happens, and you just kind of gotta roll with the punches. So
yeah, the COVID thing definitely has put a hinder
on so many people.
Stuff. It sucks. 'Cause I wanted to start doing stuff like that too, like going and. I wanted to start doing stuff like that too, like going and. I wanted to start doing stuff like that too, like going and. I wanted to start doing stuff like that too, like going and. I wanted to start doing stuff like that too, like going and. I wanted to start doing stuff like that too, like going and. I wanted to start doing stuff like that too, like going and. I wanted to start doing stuff like that too, like going and. I wanted to start doing stuff like that too, like going and. I wanted to start doing stuff like that too, like going and. I wanted to start doing stuff like that too, like going and. I wanted to start doing stuff like that too, like going and. I wanted to start doing stuff like that too, like going and. I wanted to start doing stuff like that too, like going and. I wanted to start doing stuff like that too, like going and. I wanted to start doing stuff like that too, like going and. I wanted to start doing stuff like that too, like going and. I wanted to start doing stuff like that too, like going and. I wanted to start doing stuff like that too, like going and. I wanted interviewing people on the streets. I
Yeah.
think that would be a lot of fun, just
Yeah.
because like you're gonna get such a wild variety of people,
Oh,
especially if they get put on the spot. Like,
Yeah.
But hopefully, I mean, we're not. Stuff's opening back up, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, the COVID itself doesn't seem to be really slowing down. So
Yeah. No.
I don't know. It's a tough subject to talk about too, because there's so many.
Well, it's like wearing masks is good. Wearing masks doesn't do anything.
You know,
Surface is bad. Surface, you can actually get it. Like, there's just so much,
misinformation.
and you don't know who to believe and what's right and what's. They're saying that even now there's false positives and false negatives, and it's like, okay.
That actually happened to someone on the book club. I mean, I don't want to tell the whole story because I don't know, but basically someone they knew had a false positive where they tested, it came back false, and then later it ended up being positive, and like, how are you like, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and
yeah,
I know it's a
That
scary
is
time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just we don't really know what's going on.
No,
So
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Yeah, hopefully though we get back to some sort of
Normal.
normal reality.
Yeah.
I just miss the events. I miss having the ability to
Yeah.
just go do something without concern.
Yeah.
Because I'd like to think everyone else is taking care of like what they need to, like
Yeah.
you know, either self-testing or whatever it is. But
I hate getting eyeballed, like, at the store. Like,
No.
people just, like, look in your cart. Like, I just hate that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Spooky.
yeah, I don't like I don't know. I just, the whole feeling of going places has just been off.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree.
Like, you go into some places and it's like weird that you're wearing a mask, and then you'll go into other places, but it's weird that you're not.
Mm-hmm.
It's so demographic, because I live up in Clearfield, and you'll go into like the butcher shop, which is like country boy town, and they don't wear masks.
Right.
And so if you go in there, they kind of like are like, okay, well, whatever. But then you go just down the street to the Smiths, and if you're not wearing a mask, you get the ladies like looking at you like, yeah. So it's just, I don't know, it's just weird.
Yeah.
I had a guy at my work, because we're required at my work to wear a mask every day. Like, they won't.
Same.
Like, there's no way around it. There was this kid telling me a story that he went to a fairly popular gun distributing store. I will leave names out for legal reasons.
Yeah.
But he showed up and he wasn't wearing a mask. And he started looking around guns, and like, there was a certain specific type of male that I'm sure we could all imagine were grouping around and started having discussions about being, you know, anti-masks and anti-COVID and all this type of stuff. And then the manager came out and gave them discounts. Like,
All right.
I think that just blows my mind, because like, there are numbers, right? You
Yeah.
know? I don't know. I just thought that was funny that they all
That's
sat around
interesting.
and even the manager came out like,
I'm like, yeah.
We actually.
Let's slap on a discount.
yeah.
Speaking of, like, we were like trying, like, we weren't like outwardly like wanting something, but like we were me and my boyfriend were out of Harmon's, and this was back when everyone was panic buying, and so we were just kind of hanging out, like, getting what we could, and the manager like comes up to us, he's like, hey, if you guys need toilet paper, use this code word, we have some in the back. And we're like, thanks, but we're okay.
Good looking out.
Yeah.
Jeez.
He's actually a really awesome guy. He ordered us, because like we make our dogs dog food,
Mm.
and so we needed some vegetables and they were out, so he like special ordered us some. Like, super nice guy, but it was just
yeah.
funny because he's like, use this code word. I don't remember what it was. It's like, at the register, use code James for just kidding.
To get some toilet paper.
Yeah.
Well, I guess food could be an interesting topic, because I know that that's a hot topic in dog communities as well.
Food
Is
is
like,
fascinating.
you know,
Yeah.
But people have their opinions.
yeah, that's the thing
Yeah.
is, you know, I know that the fresh food is becoming more
Yeah.
utilized, where you know, people are making their own food.
Yeah.
But then there's also that whole argument of like, there's specific brands that are actually bad for dogs, and that
Mhm.
I don't, like I said, when I had my dog, I was still young, but he ended up getting, I can't remember, some sort of disease of some sort that could have possibly been linked to the food that we were buying him, and we just had no idea.
Right.
Yeah. We do have an episode on it. We talk about what we give our dogs, because we do I do a little bit of kibble, and then I do cooked turkey. Oh my goodness,
Skeletor.
I know. I love Skeletor. I do like cooked ground turkey and vegetables, and I make a bone broth, and it's like basically you just take bones and you put them in a crock pot with apple cider vinegar and water, and you get the marrow juices out.
Right.
And so I freeze them and I give that to him for his like joints and stuff. But I know we will have an episode coming up with a guest who raw feeds.
Okay.
Only raw feeds and has like supplements.
It's fascinating. Like there's something about watching a dog like eat a duck neck that is just wild.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's crazy.
And just like the science behind it. Like I'm too scared of like, and also it's been hard with Aries and Athena because their stomachs are so sensitive where we're not even sure we can give them greenies anymore.
Really?
Like we are pretty much like as bland and simple as it gets. So like we found like a really high protein dog kibble that has like lots of vitamins and just really good things in it. It's very high protein. And then just vegetables and chicken, and then the only treats that they get are just one ingredient chicken. And so like we're too nervous to really adjust anything, but the idea of a raw diet is fascinating to me.
But it's also really expensive.
It's ridiculously expensive
because I know what she does. If I remember right, she gets it all fresh and she meal preps it and then freezes it.
Okay.
So yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Do you guys know specifically like what the benefits are of doing a raw diet, or?
I know since it's like there's not like any like preservatives and additives. I know that with some it can help with coats and skin, just overall development, less risk of different diseases, just overall kind of health. Because also like with kibble, since it's like dry and then there's a lot of additives in it, lots of preservatives. And so it's kind of just eliminating that from my understanding.
Right.
And kind of making it more of like a natural diet in a way.
Interesting.
Well, and I know a lot of people, it's like with humans, the closer you get it to the source, the better it is for you.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's kind of the same with dogs. But to give kibble credit, they are doing the best they can to make it affordable, but still good for your dog.
Right.
Which is nice. It's nice knowing that there are companies out there that like actually care about what your dog eats.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and I can imagine the 75-pound dog,
Yeah.
eating a raw diet is gonna definitely add up on the price. I mean, it's.
Ooh, that's a good point.
That's awesome. I love that.
That would be cool.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like deer antlers are really good for their teeth.
Yeah, my dog chews on deer antlers because he likes the marrow in them. So.
Ooh, getting like femur bones.
Yeah.
Femur bones are awesome.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
How much is it for like to feed a dog like of that size, even if it is just kibble?
I mean, with Athena and Aries, kibble wise, it's about I think if I remember it, like $200 every like month and a half. I want to say because we do 2 bags of kibble, so that lasts us about a month and a half.
It's not too bad, actually.
Yeah.
I thought for some reason in my mind I was thinking way more.
Yeah, but then on top of like the vegetables and the chicken and that kind of the extra stuff that we had, so I would say maybe like a little less than 400.
Yeah.
I would say.
I'm trying to think with Toby because we are very strict with his like how much we feed him. So I think with breakfast we hardly give him I don't want to sound like I'm abusing him, but we give him like a little bit more than a half cup of kibble and then a 4th cup of the vegetable turkey and then 1 bone broth cube, and then we give him a kefir cube for his coat, and then pumpkin is really good for them. And so with all that, I want to say it's maybe at most $4 a day.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
Yeah. Just because we do have to get turkey, like 3 pounds of turkey twice a week.
Yeah.
Or not twice a week, I'm sorry, every 2 weeks with vegetables, and bones are actually really cheap.
Right.
When you get them from the butcher.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because it's like these country boys And we're like, hey, do you have the bones? And they're like, do you want 3 pounds or 5 pounds today? It's like, give us the 5 pounds.
Sure.
I'll chop them up for you right now. Great.
Thank you.
Yeah. So it's nice having a butcher really close.
Right.
I don't even know. I think downtown Salt Lake is our closest butcher.
Really?
I don't think there is one out where we are.
I want to say there's one in South Jordan.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think.
I haven't really
Or West
looked.
Valley. Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you can get, I think I got the 5 pounds for like $10. 5
Wow.
pounds of bones. Yeah.
That's way cheap.
Yeah.
So I don't know anything about that type of stuff, so I was thinking even more than that, but...
And then a 40 pound of the brand that we get, a 40 pound bag, is $50.
I'm not sure.
I want to say it's $50.
Jason orders it. So I don't know.
I order it, so I think it's $50. But yeah, everything else like meat can be cheap, or
Yeah.
it's not bad.
That's not bad at all. Okay, well, we have about 30 minutes left
Yeah,
for the podcast.
that's right.
I have a couple.
Sweet.
What about toys? Because I was thinking about that too. I know for a fact that toys are a hot debate in a lot of dog communities. Because, like, some toys are great for teeth. Some toys actually hurt teeth. If certain toys break and they get into the digestive system, then it can actually cause a lot of harm. So with, a big dog, I imagine it's easy for toys to get destroyed.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What is your guys' outlook on that?
Well, I think right off the bat, just in case people don't know, Rawhide is the worst thing you could ever give your dog.
Mhm.
Ever. It is so bad, dangerous. It could kill your dog. So if you do give your dog any Rawhide, don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
But
I don't think a lot of people know that, so why
Yeah.
is that?
Rawhide's like a sponge. So like, like if a dog's chewing on it, when you grab it, it's very squishy and like kind of swells up. So that's what's happening in the stomach. And then it's also stripped of like everything, and chemicals are added to it. So as it's swelling, it's, releasing all the chemicals into the stomach. And then as it swells, it could get lodged. They won't be able to digest it. They can't digest it. And so a lot of dogs die or almost die because they just can't digest it. And it just swells in their gut.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very dangerous.
Rawhide's very dangerous.
But as far as toys go, yeah.
Check your dog's toys, because I know a lot of people, they say, like, if you leave your dog in a kennel, give them a toy so they're not bored. But if you do that, you got to check them.
Right.
Make sure that they're okay and that, like, they're not to that point where they could be potentially dangerous.
We only leave bones. Like, we have, and even with bones, like, we only do these, like, compressed wood. So it's kind of like a bunch of wood chips that are just compressed together. So it's safe to, like, ingest. So that's the only thing in their kennel. We used to do, like, the plastic bones, but Athena was eating the little bits of plastic and threw it up. And so we were like, no more there.
I can remember there was one that, like, some people swore by. It's Kong? Kong ball or something?
Yeah, we have a Kong, like, bone.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the little, like,
Red rubber.
yeah, you
usually.
can, like, put treat inside of it. We
Yeah.
had one of those for a while, too.
Yeah. The Kong bone,
Yeah.
Toby. These dogs go through toys. Like, that's another thing, if you want to get one of these dogs, plan on spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on toys, because they go through them like that.
If it's cheap, it'll probably last 5 minutes. We've had really good luck with this brand called Tuffy.
Okay.
It's like double sewn, and so those last about a month.
See, Toby can't do those.
Really?
He finds the edge, and he, like, chews it on his molar, and then, like, it's like, oh,
We've been getting on them, so as soon as they start chewing on it, we're like, nope, get a bone. We don't chew on toys, we play with toys.
he likes that back molar feeling. So
yeah, Athena does that too, and it's just the worst smell ever. It's like chalkboard. Ugh.
Ooh, yeah, that doesn't... Yeah, because I was reading something the other day. Someone had posted a big tangent about dog toys or whatever, and they had purchased a pretty well-known brand that I can't remember, and it ended up killing their dog.
Oh, wow.
But things like that are always so hard to really just pinpoint what the problem could be, right? 'Cause It could just be that the dog tore it up and it couldn't digest.
Right.
It could be like a mishap in the manufacturing and so many different
Exactly.
things. But
And also, I'm pretty lucky with Toby because when Toby gets something like that, his stomach is so sensitive that he'll, like, if he can't pass it, he's puking it up. And I know a lot of dogs, their stomachs are a little bit more resilient and they'll try, and that's where they get in trouble.
right.
So, I mean, I'm glad that Toby, I'd rather have him puke than have a $2,000 vet bill for trying to remove it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Vets are so interesting.
Pet insurance.
Yes.
I have pet insurance. It's wonderful. I
My
love it.
my company offers it, and to be honest with you, being a cat owner, which I don't want to get into, it's a whole different world. But I saw pet insurance as an option. I'm like, that's weird. I'm not going to do that.
Right.
But I wish I would have, because I ended up having to get like a $2,000 surgery on one of my cats,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which he's the golden boy now because he's more expensive than my
Right.
car that I was driving at the
Exactly,
time.
exactly.
But I think it just goes back to like money's money. I mean, it's
Right.
Yeah.
part of the family. You're not gonna let your
Exactly.
family member die because of money.
Right.
Exactly.
Kind of with the foxtail seeds, if people don't know, they're very common in Utah. It's a weed in Utah, and what it is it's this little thing, and when the wind blows and the seed comes out, it has this enzyme that burrows into the ground. Well, the seed doesn't know the difference between your dog's ear and the ground, so if it gets into places, it burrows in there, and they can potentially get infection, lose their ear.
Oh, wow.
And so when Toby got it in his ear, and you can tell there's like obvious signs, he was like shaking his head, and sure enough, he had one in there. And rather than having to pay $2,000 to get it removed, we only had to pay like $100.
Wow.
And so, pet insurance is awesome.
Yeah. Well, I think they're just starting to realize that it's just like human medical. I mean,
Yeah.
you got to pay an arm and a leg to go get anything done.
Yeah.
And we definitely shouldn't have to fall, financially in debt because of we love it,
Right,
as part of our
right.
family.
And I know some vets are pretty cool about like if we were to go in and at that moment and they said we need to get this done, if you want to pay a down payment of like $80 and get this insurance rather than having to do like
Right.
all this. So some vets are really cool about that. If you're approached with something that might cost you an arm and a leg, they might sign you on for a year, which it's so worth it.
All right. So I kept this question for the final because I've talked about
Okay.
this with other guests who aren't involved in a dog podcast and a dog life. What is the opinion on like these Animal Barn, for example, is one of the brands, or different things along that nature, where like a puppy farm type of situation. Like most opinions I've had on are going to be exactly what I imagine is coming, but I think it's an important subject to talk about because we have so many people who still go there closed-eyed because they're so fucking cute,
I felt,
I've done
I
that.
was that.
I went there with someone a while ago, and I was like, "Oh, this is cute. Look at all these dogs." And then, like, when I was leaving, and I sat there and thought, I'm like, "Wait, that's not okay. Like, those dogs are literally just sitting in like a little thing. Like, there was Great Danes in like a 2x2 barrel. Like, but anyways, I'm curious what.
Oh, my blood pressure.
I think it's like, because like what you see, like what we're able to see as the public is already disgusting enough, but like doing the research into the background, how the parents are being treated, how like the dogs that are getting bred are being treated is probably the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life. Because that's basically their only purpose. Like, they're in a kennel, they're having babies, and once they're not able to have babies, bye. And so they're very malnourished, they're depressed, like they have no life. And so that's like the hardest.
I don't know anything about animal breeding, but I can't imagine that there's an animal that hopes that all they are is get breeded. Like that can't be a reality. Like how miserable it must be just to sit there and think like, oh, I just had babies, I'm gonna have to do this again and again and again and again.
It's so bad for the female.
Recover.
Yeah, it's so bad for the female to just keep.
And we have an episode about breeder red flags, just like for backyard breeders, because I mean my boyfriend had a horrible experience with one where he actually had to put the puppy down at 4 months old. because they were just breeding the parents like back and forth, so the puppies weren't healthy anymore.
Wow.
And then they found out that the puppies weren't healthy, so they knocked the price down, tried to make it more appealing. But yeah, as far as like puppy barns, if there's an admission fee to go look at dogs, I feel like that's like a big old red flag.
Right.
Yeah, but you don't really think about it because like
No.
puppies are so
So
cute,
cute,
and
yeah.
you want to go see them, and
You want to
So-
hold them, and
No.
they're awesome. But it's kind of like, I don't know, you get like the meat packing plant and what the old standards used to be, and you see, oh yeah, this is just food, but like big picture stuff of what was happening. It's
Right.
Yeah.
no bueno.
Yeah, I definitely have a strong stance on it, and I think that it should be something that, as a society, we should really look at eliminating.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, if we
Yeah.
love these animals and these animals are getting to a point where we realize that they're more than just a
Mhm.
pet,
Mm-hmm.
we can't do that with humans.
Right,
Yeah.
That would get, people would die if that was going on with humans.
right.
Oh yeah.
You know, so at what point do we sit down and have that discussion as a community and be like,
This is not
what are
right.
the steps we need to take to remove
Yeah.
this? But the problem is, I mean, when I went to the puppy barn, it was down in Orem or something
Yeah.
along those lines. It was like $5,000 a dog. You know, there was the American bulldogs, which are really popular. They were like $5,000 each. There was Great Danes that were like $1,200, $1,300, and people. I was in there, and people were walking out with dogs. So that company and that organization and that community has to have so much wealth that how do you fight it?
Well,
Yeah.
I did some research into the guy that kind of started all these puppy barns and whatever, and I think if I remember right, he's actually like kind of been hit with like different bankruptcies where his company will fall to the ground because people will speak out about it, and he'll just kind of start another one, kind of like Michael Scott with his paper companies.
Right.
But yeah, and the amount of diseases like parvo, like if you get a puppy from a puppy barn, I'm like 99% sure you're gonna leave with a dead dog.
Kennel cough,
Mhm.
parvo, heartworm.
Those
What's
puppies.
Parvo, sorry.
Um.
I'm not familiar with
It's
that
in
one.
fecal. It's
Yeah.
in fecal matter, and it's just something that young puppies can get that makes them really, really sick.
Really
Okay.
sick.
I know, like, I don't know, poop makes people sick,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how it's transferred.
And so yeah, they kennel coughs, and so I'm pretty sure like you're leaving like with a death sentence puppy.
Which is just.
It's awful.
I mean, I feel bad too because, like, you know, if you're a typical family, right, and you go down there and you're super excited, like the kids want this specific dog, like, I don't think that is necessarily evil and harmful.
Right.
Good, but what is when that family has to now bury their 2-year-old dog, which they expected to be 20, 15, 12, whatever it is, and explain to their kids who are that they expected to raise old enough to the point where they start understanding. Like, that's not fair. I mean, that's awful. That's an awful position to put a family into.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I don't want to get, like, political or anything, but, like, when Trump passed that it is now a federal offense if you abuse a dog, I was so thrilled.
Yeah.
Because if you were to abuse, like, the duct tape,
Yeah.
like, what kind of a person do you have to be to do that?
I mean, all serial killers start out by killing dogs. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So, yeah, put them in
I'm
federal
just
prison.
saying.
Put them in federal prison, please. Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that we're all on the same
Same
page.
page, yeah.
I
That'd be a
hope-
little awkward.
I'm worried the day that someone comes on and has the opposite opinion and is
Uh-huh.
pro that situation because I don't see the positives. I mean,
No.
besides having dogs available, but there's so many
Yeah.
dogs available. Go to a shelter. You know,
Yeah,
there's millions of other opportunities.
Yeah, I go to the Humane Society whenever, like, before I started dating Jason, I would just go there to get some puppy therapy.
Yeah.
Go hang out with the dogs and the cats.
Oh, and they love it too.
Yeah.
Like going there. I suggest everyone if you live in Utah, it's off 4500 South, and you don't have to go get a cat or a dog or anything.
They're really
Just go hang
nice.
You
out
can
with
go in there.
them.
You can change the litter box for them. You can play with them. Like they're bored as shit, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like, and the dogs, you can go take them out they have kennels. You can go play fetch with and run around with them. Like, and all you have to have is what, like an ID or a card or something to exchange so you don't steal the dog. But if you want the dog, you can just adopt it. Like it's pretty straightforward.
Exactly.
This is kind of like on topic but kind of off, but I just learned that there's a place in California It's on that Disney's It's a Dog's Life. If you haven't seen that, it's like an awesome show.
Okay.
And it just talks about like different jobs that dogs do. And
there's an episode with a Mal.
yeah, and this is like it's the same kind of like episode or thing. It's this, they do search and rescue, but instead of buying the dogs, they get them from a rescue.
Mm.
And because a lot of people don't want high drive dogs because they're crazy and they tear up your house. And so they know that there's a lot of high drive dogs in these rescues, so they'll rescue them and they'll give them a job.
Oh, wow.
It's really cool.
It was so heartwarming.
Oh.
I love it. I love hearing stories like that because it's like, that's awesome that she found that she didn't need to spend thousands on a working dog, that she can just go rescue them.
Yeah.
So I love that.
Yep.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, how about you guys give a plug to all the socials that you have, everything that you want. If you guys are listening to this on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio now, shout outs iHeartRadio, finally gotcha. YouTube, whatever it is, all these links that they say will be in the comments, so just scroll down and take a look, and definitely go check out the website, but feel free to plug away to everything you want.
Like, oh man, we have a bunch.
So I'm behind on the website, as we talked about earlier, but it's www.galswithmalspodcast.com, and like we have all of our episodes on there, resources, pictures, videos, everything's basically on there.
Yeah, we have a YouTube channel with just kind of little videos for now. Same thing, Gals with Mouths podcast. We're on just about every place that you can listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple, anything really, Stitcher, SoundCloud. So you can catch us there, and then on Instagram, Facebook, Gals with Mouths podcast. Twitter is Gals with Mouths pod.
Yeah.
I think that just about
Sums
does
it up.
it.
Perfect. And then as far as Top Shelfer stuff goes, tomorrow you'll be having 3 podcasts if you want to come tune in. New anime podcast. I don't know if you guys are into it. It's wild.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Getting talked about for sure because it's wild.
I love that one.
Starting a new crime podcast. First episode pilot is tomorrow. True Crime Drunks is the name. John Wayne Gacy's the topic.
Ooh.
And then Dax Cast will be going live at 7 p.m. Tune in for that. And yeah, that's about it. Make sure to go follow our socials.
Yeah.
Woo, do it.
Thanks again for coming, guys.
Yes, thank you.
It was a
Awesome.
pleasure.
Thanks for having
Yes.
us.
And everyone else watching, thank you for the time. And
Thank you.
we'll see you next time.
Bye.